on Tuesdays and Thursday, opening night. So we're got a match up. You saw Meatball City over the weekend, obviously, when they won the 2024 Guaranteed Rate Affinity Kickoff Classic. And later on today, we'll show you Meatball City and Signature won the consolation bracket. So a little interesting that you'll get to see the winner of the winner bracket and the winner of the consolation bracket kind of play. So it'll be interesting to see. And this is our first look at Impact. They lost a lot of guys who went over to Signature and various other teams. So Jeff LaVar retooling on the fly. And it's our first look. He told me he had some young kids and he was going to see how they worked out. Of course, he's, like most teams, worry about his players getting here. So we'll see what happens with that. A lot less windy today. So we will see what happens in that context. And we will see if he does get his full team out. We see Burrito just walking in. A lot less wind. Microphone should be better. I did order something to put over the microphone, so hopefully next time we get a windy day, it'll be okay. Of course, the live stream is being powered by Gold Rush Gaming. If you're going to put video gaming in your establishment, give them a call, 630-307-0500, or email them at inquiries@goldrushgaming.com. So what you're going to be seeing, for those of you who are out of state, is the fact that this is Chicago's 16-inch style softball. You're seeing it correctly. They don't wear mitts, and we use a 16-inch clincher. It is not a mush ball. Comes out of the box relatively firm and hard, and we'll maintain that consistency for most of the game. 60-foot bases, you can lead off, but you can't steal. Because we're playing no gloves, the pitcher gets a drag step, one step right, left, or back. 6-12 on the arc. Pitcher gets two fakes or hesitation. Third arm action must be to deliver the ball home. A fake or a throw toward a base is considered one of your fakes or hesitations. If I'm not mistaken, this is an open count league. 0-0. We use heavy bats. They can weigh up to 38 ounces, no longer than 36 inches, and 2 1/4 on the barrel. We have no fence today, so if you hit it in the gap, it's all you can get. And not too much foul territory. They play the fence line down. Big outfields and relatively big infields. So very familiar lineup. I don't see the Wiz brothers here today. They were a big part of that win over the weekend. Leading off is going to be Mike Marola, the pitcher. Mike had a terrific weekend, both pitching and hitting, with Pops Alejandro on deck. And then Junior. So a little different look for Meatball City today. And there's a swing, and Mike right over to Burrito. He picks it up and throws him out for out number 1. And that's how our game starts. So Mike Mulcrone on the mound. And I believe he's related to Liam Mulcrone, who's playing second. So here's Pops Alejandro. And it's always interesting after a tournament, even though it was only a one-day event, first time out when everybody plays on dirt, and Pops stays hot. He only made about 3 outs over the weekend, and he gets another hit there. So first base runner of the ball game, and here comes John Doss, moved up in the lineup with the Wiz Boys not here tonight. We'll see if they end up making it out for the nightcap. And he swings and he slashes one into center. Pops was having a little trouble. Looks like he was spinning his wheels a little bit. Looks like he's got brand new shiny cleats on. Okay, thanks. So that's going to bring up Joey. And there's a hard ground ball. They'll only go to first. They get the out at first. Ball hit to the short center. Second baseman didn't have an opportunity to get over there. And look at Pops with the shiny new cleats on. You know, we got to baptize him. Tried to pull an Earl Weaver on him for you old Baltimore Oriole fans out there. So here's Jose Godinez. Two ducks sitting on the pond out there. And they got to respect Jose's pop. So they should, with 2 outs, be flying on the swing. They should score no problem. Beautiful day here in the city of Chicago. Got a lot warmer than they said it was going to get. I'm sure it'll cool off a little bit here as the sun sets. They do have the lights turned on, so we shouldn't notice any real down or dark time here. And Jose swings. I was safe until Pops tried to make a play there. Almost deflected that into the camera. Of course, coming up this weekend, the SSA Cinco de Mayo tournament should have a bracket up on that. Did do the draw live yesterday. And Jose delivers. 2 runs are going to score. JT Redis has a little trouble out there, and Jose will get into second. Did a nice interview with Joel Alejandro, which will get up for you guys sometime this week. And Joel was saying that he thought Jose was rounding into good shape as a hitter. So here's Sean Quinn now. Early 2-0 lead for Meatball City. Big 2-out hit. And that's kind of what Meatball City does. They'll spray the ball around the field. They got a couple of guys with thump, but it's really not their trademark. They'll play good defense. And they'll hang right into ball games. And that ball whistled to our right, foul out of play. Shook up a couple of fans over there checking out the ball game. So Cinco de Mayo Saturday, we'll be right back here at this very park again. And I believe Manny Sanchez will be doing the food. So they will have food out here for teams planning on playing. Sean swings and hits a fly ball. Rita started in, but drifts back and makes the catch. So at the end of the half an inning of play, Meatball City takes an early lead, 2-0. Impact coming to bat. And again, we are live from Bulger Park and Melrose Park. Opening night here of their men's Tuesday-Thursday Major League. Some good teams out here. We'll be showing you some great matchups throughout the season. Flashback 45, Signature, Hex. This Meatball City, Chicago Dynasty's in the league this year. They had a team drop out, and they've been on almost a 2-year wait list. They got in. Of course, March Impact. Hope I'm not leaving anybody out, but a good, solid, competitive league. I think Iron's in this league, too. So, good, solid league. So, leading off, it's going to be Jeff LeVar, then Cody Niedenbach, and then Anthony Lopez. Anybody gets on, it'll be JT Redis. What's up, Rich? Of course, Amalia, you got in early today. Did you get the notification? So we saw Mike Marola pitch over the weekend today with a couple of the Whiz boys out. Although a late add to the lineup, Whiz is actually in the ball game, did show up playing shortstop. So they took Mike Marola off the hill and they put him at second base today. JR was playing second base on Saturday, giving him a few innings. Ground ball to Godinez, takes it off the chest, can't make the play. So Cody Niedenbach, who's a tall kid, long-legged, long strider, once the ball went off the shoulder and popped up in the air, there was no shot at getting him, and it brings up Anthony Lopez. Now, we did a game last year where he surprised a right fielder with a bomb over his head, but Meatball City playing very deep across their outfield. Not sure who that is in right. I think that's Jake Majerus. And they got Sean Quinn playing center. And Anthony pounds that ball foul. Hard overhand swing. So I don't see Ian Holst or one of the Whiz boys out here. And Ian Holst had an excellent day also on Saturday for Meatball City, patrolling center field. And again, this league is unique in the sense that you're guaranteed a double header every time you show up. They only use 2 slots. They pick 4 teams. And Anthony skies a fly ball to Majerus, makes the catch, good strong throw, right on the money, no advancement. So the teams will crisscross and play when they get out here. That's why sometimes when we live stream, we don't have an opportunity to show you more than 3 teams in a given night. And Rita slaps it toward right. That's going to drop. Cody, big, strong effort to get to third. Threw it right into the pitcher through the cutoff man. Runners on the corner. Now Impact looking for a big 2-out hit. Brings up Mike Mulcrone. Takes a strike. And he pops it up on the infield. And Joey makes the catch there. Took charge. It looked like John Doss was going to try to get in there, but that was a collision he couldn't win. He backed off. So at the end of a full inning, 2-0, Meatball City. So last year we had the confusion because we had this Impact team and then we had a March Impact. This year March dropped the Impact from their name, so that'll make it a little easier on people when they make brackets and try to figure out which Impact they're playing. Now there's only one. And I'd be remiss if I didn't point out the best looking guy in softball, Joey Carbs. $1 million smile, 2-cent body. And 1 cent brain, he says. So here's Jake Majerus leading off. So it looks like Ian Holst may have just got here. So I might have been fooled. And there's a ground ball over to Cody, throws to first, and the throw does pull Anthony Lopez off the bag. He had a big grin on his face. He tried to sell it. Pat Morris, the umpire, right on the spot, took a great look at it. So here's Ian Holst. We're going to keep our eye on this young man. I think he's a up-and-coming player, played with future, and had a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 10th. Ground ball up the middle, and it skips past Burrito. Majerus working hard, makes it to third. So Ian looked like he might have just topped it and mishit it, but he hit it in a good spot. The ball stayed down, and it got through. And here's Jake Caballero, the left fielder. And Jake swings and he slashes one the other way. Another run scores, 3-0 Meatball. So Meatball City has started the season out red hot. You mean this third base coach, Amalia? It's Joey Carbonara. Joe works at a funeral home. And here's Wiz, and he drives a base hit. Fourth one is going to score. And the left fielder makes it. Did keep the toe on there. Third baseman didn't tag him in the first place and certainly didn't keep the ball on him, so it's a moot point. But with nobody out here, runners on the corner, Meatball City, 2 in the first, now 2 here in the second. And they've come out swinging. And right now, they're just not doing too much. They're just barreling it up, and they're throwing line drives all over the field. So here comes Joel Alejandro, the manager. So I thought that was Sean Quinn in center, but I think Sean is either catching or reaching today. And here's Joel. I was talking to him before we set that interview up. And he says, I'm in physical therapy. And I'm like, did you even play Saturday? And he said, no, when I'm cutting the hair at Mago Styling Cave, that's his business. That's ground ball to Burrito, throw to first, and they do get the double play. Another run scores. And, of course, if you're keeping score at home, you do not give an RBI on a double play ball. And he said, no, my arms and shoulders, I got to elevate them when I'm cutting hair all day, and they're getting sore. And Mike Marola tried to muscle up JT Redis, little bobble, but he held on. So at the end of an inning and a half, Meatball City's come out all business. They lead 5-0. So in the 3 games or so, I saw them over the weekend. And here tonight, they seem like they're a team that's going to be fast starters. And that can really help. A lot of times teams get down when they fall behind early. And I try to tell people you can't get down because you know the other guy's going to score runs, and it doesn't change what you got to do. Now, Meatball City, though, did show, certainly against High Y, they scored in the first 3 innings, and they got 8 runs, and then they sat on that number. And High Y right now has been winning games, but they're not really showing us that high-powered offense that they have yet. So here's Josh Moran, also known as Burrito, leading off here. And if you're Impact here, you just want to kind of try to crawl back into the game a little bit, put a little mental pressure on Meatball City. And Josh skies it. Long run. Caballero. And he's grimacing. It hit him in the low belly, rolled down toward a sensitive area, and he tried to clamp the ball, and I think he had a little self-induced pain there. So John Ryan trying to give him a few seconds out there. And he is really walking around and grimacing out there. So John Doss did what a good teammate would do, gave him a couple of minutes. It's kind of like a Major League Baseball game when the ball dings the umpire and the catcher asks for a ball and just walks out to talk to the pitcher to give the umpire a few seconds. So here's Greg Rosenkrantz, the third baseman. And he pounds a base hit up the middle. Yeah, Ian Holst is catching today in this game. Sean Quinn's in center, probably trying to save the young man's legs. He does have a tendency to dive for a lot of balls, and so that looks like load management. And there's a little flare by Liam Mulcrone as he flared it down the right field line. Of course, Liam, interesting story, had a fall and cracked his skull. He got a metal plate and struggled for a couple of years to kind of recover from that. And now he just recently got the okay for full activity. So he grounds a base hit. Spent the last couple of years with flashback. Decided to come over here, wanted an opportunity to play a little bit more. So 2 on here, 1 out, and it brings up Pat Devereaux.
Boy. Come on, JR.
And that ball hits the plate. So good opportunity here for Impact to maybe push a couple. And that sneaks through. 1 run is in, and they're on the board, and Liam cruises into third. So they break the seal. They make it a 5-1 game, and now they got runners on the corner with 1 out. And it brings up Niles Goal, the right fielder. Takes that pitch outside. Jeff LeVar on deck. So good opportunity here, this bottom third of the lineup, pitching in here for Impact. And there's a little ground ball. Pops Alejandro out on the runner. They get to fielder's choice, safe at second. And you can see Wiz was trying to get to second base for a potential flip. Pops made sure he got the lead runner there. Runner hesitated just enough. So it wasn't a double play. And there's a line drive by LeVar off of Joey. Mike Marola was tracking the ball, but got deflected more toward the center of the diamond. Pops couldn't get there. So 2 outs here. Another run scores, though. 5-2 ball game. Little ground ball to Godinez. And they called him out on the tag. Again, as I always say, you can rewind the tape on that. But they do push a couple across. And Impact showed a little signs of life there. Ball was pounded right down the third baseline. Jose fumbled it. Bang, bang on whether the foot got in before the tag. I think I had it on the video. Number 60 on which team, Danny? Pitching for Impact? No, that is Mike Mulcrone. So we head to the top of the third now. We'll see how Meatball City responds. They do have 2, 3, 4 coming up. Pops Alejandro, John Doss Jr., and Joey. And that pitch is in there for a strike. Pitch a little deep. Pops is hitting the ball like he did when he was on No Fear, and there's the Malouk for out number 1. So a little better start here, getting a leadoff man for Impact. And there's a line drive right at the pitcher. He tried to do the cool thing and flip it to first, and the ball went way up the right field line. But the important thing there is he caught the ball. Good reaction there. That ball looked like it was going to head out toward right center for a base hit. So here's Joey. 2 up, 2 down here. Impact trying to get what they need, which is a goose egg. Thanks, JD. I appreciate that. And here's a pitch, and he swings and he hits a rocket, a knuckleball into center. Hit that ball right on the seam. It was dancing all the way out there. And that's going to bring up Jose Godinez. So Meatball City now, they've had at least 1 base runner each of these first 3 innings. They've scored in the first 2. Trying to see if they can get some 2-out hits. Jose takes that pitch a little deep. Take strike 2. Might have missed that. I think the umpire said 2-1. And Jose drives it to right center. Right fielder back, makes the catch. So long run for the right fielder. Niles' goal, but he got there. So they do get the goose egg. And we'll head to the bottom of the 3rd inning at 5-2. So it's going to be Anthony Lopez, JT Redis, and Mike Mulcrone. So 3-4-5. This is a good opportunity here for Impact to continue to chip away and get in the ball game. Like we said over the weekend, we did notice that at times Meatball City would score a few runs and then just kind of lay off the gas a little bit. Not so much in that championship game when they just really laid it on Iron. Of course, Iron missing about 3 of their young kids. And there's a swing, and he goes opposite field. And Anthony will stop at first as he walked the dog down that left field line. Beautiful stroke. And the leadoff man is on now for JT Redis. JT was also a future guy, along with Ian Holst. And both of those kids just wanted to play more. Ground ball to the pitcher, over to Pops. Safe. So the ball wasn't hit hard. Anthony did a good job to get down there and create a little confusion. Pops bounced the throw. Joey couldn't scoop. So here's Mike Mulcrone, and he hits a knuckleball out to center. Sean Quinn can't handle it. Reedus is going to get to third. So we're seeing a lot of knuckleballs, and it looked like Sean Quinn was fighting that ball all the way, just couldn't stay with it. Ended up dropping it. Runners on the corner now with one out for Josh Moran. So that ball was hit pretty hard. Had a lot of action to it. And Josh goes big toward the gap. Sean Quinn tracks it. Third run will score for Impact. Cody Niedenbach goes back. But Impact closes it to a 2-run game now after trailing by 5. So there are 2 outs here. Brings up Greg Rosenkrantz, the third baseman. That pitch was a little deep. And there's a strike. So Greg in a good spot here. Heading the count. And there's a little soft fly ball. Quinn started back, comes in and makes a belly catch. But in the inning, they do add a run. And that'll make it 5-3 as we head to the top of the 4th. So we're going to click off and start a new stream for Game 2 after this, Signature Meatball City. And we wanted to show you a little different team today. And down at the other end, March playing Signature, and it's a 5-3 ball game, identical score. They're an inning behind. And it looks like Signature is the visitor down there, so we'll keep you updated on the score. Nice thing about Melrose is they got these nice bright scoreboards. So at night you can really see what's happening. And another nice touch on there. Sean Quinn drills it down the line, but foul. And the other nice touch they got is they got a little kind of asterisk looking symbol up there based on who's hitting. So you can look at a field, see who's in the field and who's hitting, and because of that little asterisk, you can figure it out. So here's Sean Quinn now on the reset. And they replaced the lights down here on this time, and they're state-of-the-art LEDs. And here's a high fly ball. JT Redis will take care of that. They got the old school lights on the other diamond, but they're not bad. The infield, at least, is pretty lit up down there. So here's Jake Majerus. So leadoff man down. And Jake hits a fly ball. On his horse is LeVar, and he makes an over-the-shoulder catch like a wide receiver. That ball carried pretty good out toward right center. Not literally no wind up here. The top of the trees aren't moving hardly at all. And you can probably tell from the audio because Saturday was a little rough. It was blowing so hard over the weekend, I had trouble keeping the cameras steady at times. So here's Ian Holst. And he hits a ball to center, but right at LeVar, who bobbles but holds on. And that'll be the third out. So halfway through, 5-3 Impact. Meatball scored all 5 runs in the first 2 innings. Impact scored 2 and 1 the last 2 innings. So I'm going to take a quick break here, folks. I'm going to grab a little water, and I'll be right back at you. And we're back. Leading off, Liam Mulcrone. He pounds it into right. He beats Majerus. Liam chugging around, and they're going to hold him. Pops Alejandro went out. Throw is up the line. Lead off triple for Liam. And I got to tell you, Liam hasn't played a lot, but every time I see him, he's throwing a hit out there somewhere.
They all know. They all know.
So they're... So Impact now, another run 60 feet away, and there's a little chopper to Pops. He's going to come home. Now they got him in a pickle, and now the ball hits Liam. So Pat Devereaux just hit a chopper. Pop's a pretty slick shortstop. He made a little bit of a mistake there. He needed to run directly at Liam, who slammed the brakes on. And here's Niles. And just like that, it's a 5-4 ball game. And there's a ground ball over to Mike Marola. He'll take the out, and they throw behind, but Devereaux right on the bag. I'm not a big fan sometimes. I see what Pops was trying to do there, but you always want to try to grab an out when you can. Once the throw hit the runner, that allowed Devereaux to get to second, and now a little ground ball got him to third, and Jeff LeVar off the pitcher, and then Devereaux couldn't score, but he created a little hesitation in John Doss there. He faked like he was going to go. Runner's on the corner, and it brings up Cody Niedenbach. So Jeff didn't really elevate it. He does find his way on. And Cody swings, and he delivers. We're all tied up. New ball game, 5-5. So Impact started out slow. They were down 5-0, but they've scored the last 5. It brings up Anthony Lopez. First and second here with only one out as Impact has got a chance to put another run or two up. And Lopez hammers it. Majerus can't get there. LeVar's going to score. Here comes Cody. He's going to go. Marola's throw. Out at home. Mike Marola went out for the cutoff. What people forget was Mike was an outfielder before he came in and can throw the ball, and he threw a strike to Holst. It was a little bit up the line, but he caught it and put the tag on for out number 2.
Come on, JR.
And again, that's just a spectacular relay throw. Majerus. And now there's a fly ball by Ritas, caught by Jake Caballero. But in the inning, Impact throws up a 3 spot. And as we head to the 5th, new ball game, Impact leading 6-5 over Moneyline. And again, that's how you do it, folks. That was beautiful defense by Meatball City. Majerus got beat. He got up and threw a strike to Marola, the second baseman, who went out for the cut. And Mike turned it loose. Perfect throw to the plate. And they gunned down the runner. And I think Cody might have been a little surprised they were sending him there. Because it looked like he might have slowed up just a little bit rounding third. thinking that they were going to hold him. I used to tell my base runners, you put your head down as you're running the second, you pick up your third base coach and you run full bore until he throws up the stop sign. A lot of runners will look over their shoulder and they'll slow down, and Caballero, little ground ball, Lopez rolls it all the way to first, but he gets the out. And what happens is you look over your shoulder and you don't realize it, but you're slowing down. And because of that, I've also seen runners miss second base. So just concentrate on running hard. The coach will usually be telling you or waving you to continue to run. And that's why coaching third is very difficult, because as a coach, you're trying to determine distances, arms, and Wiz smokes it right at Niles. And he belly catch that. And you're trying to gauge the outfielder, the distance, his arm, the cutoff man's arm, the cutoff man's distance. And sometimes while you're doing that and you're waving a guy in, you don't really have time to also take a look at whether your guy's running hard or not. So here's Joel Alejandro. Got to stick a star on that. That was textbook. So 2 up, 2 down here, and Meatball City's offense has suddenly gone down. And there's a nice play by Josh, and Anthony Lopez just flat out dropped it. But see, that's a good job too by Joel. He didn't hit his best ball. He didn't pout. He ran hard all the way down the line, and he got rewarded on the drop. The only thing you can control on a field, fellas, is your hustle. So that brings up Mike Marola, he of the great throw. Now, Joel can flat out run. So if Mike should hit some type of a longer single toward a gap, he might score here with 2 outs. What's up, Pistol? And he does throw it toward a gap. Forget about it. Joel's going to score. And now LeVar kicks the ball. And Marola is running. And he'll make it to third. Jeff LeVar tried to slide into it, and he inadvertently kicked it toward left.
Hey, stay hot! Stay hot!
So we're all tied at 6. Big 2-out hit by Mike Marola, who stays on fire. That was a nice throw, Mikey. I think some of the younger guys don't realize he was a center fielder. And aside from Patty, the rest of the Caputo boys all got hoses.
Come on, just find a hole.
That got a chuckle out of Michael. And Pops just missed walking the dog. Everybody was looking for chalk. I don't think he missed it by more than an inch or 2. So we're 6-6 here on the top of the 5th. Right when you were wondering what happened to the Meatball City offense, it reemerges.
Come on, 3.
Yeah, beautiful night, Pete. And Pops, I tell you, that was a close pitch there, but he took it. And Pops tries to sweep down that right field line. Let that pitch get way too deep on him. Kind of walked himself out of the swing. As he walked up on it, he had to pull his hands in to try to hit it. And by that time, the angle of the bat, there was no chance that that swing was ever going to be fair. .16-inch softball is a cool game because of all the movement in the batter's box by these hitters. And without the gloves with this drag step, the angles are always changing. And Pops just floats it over the infield. Pops red hot, stays hot, and drives in another run. So Meatball City, after falling behind, come back second inning in this game where they've scored multiple runs with multiple two-out hits. And it brings up John Doss. And even though Pops isn't a guy that drives the ball, he creates problems for you because he still runs pretty good. And there's a little flare down the line, no one's going to get to it. So as an infielder, you can't play him real deep. You know, the outfield might have been able to play him a little closer, but that ball was only on the grass by about 6-7 feet. And as soon as it got over the top of Josh Moran, he just kind of looked up like, you know. So I see JD watching JD here. JD, of course, I believe he's still with Circus. And there's a little spinner. That's going to be trouble. Infield hit by John Doss. You couldn't throw it out there any better, and that the boot had the sideways spin on it. And now we get to some of the road graders with Joey up. So Meatball City now got a chance to put up a little bit of a ugly, crooked number if you're an Impact fan. And he whistles a ball down the left field line. One run is in. And they're going to hold Doss. And Joey will get into second base. Another two-out hit, another RBI. 8-6. So now they've thrown up a three-spot match in Impacts. And they reclaim a two-run lead here, and it brings up Jose Godinez. And we got a little bit of a YTD reunion going on with JD watching, JD playing, and Jose. And Jose Godinez pounds ahead. 2 more runs are going to score. And Meatball City with 2 outs has just done some fantastic work here. They doubled up their 5 that they had coming in, and they lead 10-6. Here comes Sean Quinn. And just to show you how this game can change, and there's Lopez knocks it down right where he should be was Mulcrone. But in the inning, 5 runs for Impact. And it's 10-6 here as we head to the bottom of the 5th. And it may sound crazy, but the big hitter in that inning was actually John Doss's little spinner, as Meatball City, with 2 outs, scored 3 runs after that. And that's the difference sometimes in this game. Cliff Perry from the Pharaohs. They lost a Class A National Championship to YTD. And that's all I'll say about it, Cliff. So here comes the pitcher, Mulcrone. And he skies one to center. And Sean Quinn is right there for out number 1. Brings up Josh Moran. So here comes Josh Moran. And there's a little ground ball to Marola. Stays down, pitch and catch, out number 2. And after a couple of down innings, after scoring 5 runs last inning, Meatball City body language much improved.
Wherever you want to go. Hello, boy.
That brings up the third baseman, Greg Rosenkrantz. Should be a good year from what I can see. There's been a lot of improvement by quite a few teams this year. We were having that discussion with a couple of folks. We like what Circus did, as they probably got the best all-around player on the market, and Michael Lange. There's a ground ball to Godinez. Bounces it in. Joey scoops it. So we're going to now head to the top of the sixth, 10-6, Meatball City. Of course, Chad Hook will be healthy. They also picked up Ryan Sherwin. So, like what they did, that team is stacked up. Flashback picked up Manzella and Steph McLaren. So they're going to have an excellent team. I like what the 45s did, picking up PJ Raines and Jeff Mastari. I like what Meatball City's done here, getting better. Hex picked up some new faces, as did Signature. So it's going to be an interesting year. Here's Jake Majerus to lead off the top of the sixth. And there's a little ground ball. Mulcrone got it, spins, and Anthony Lopez just having some issues today. He's got a little case of bobolitis. It's a great play by Mulcrone. He's not exactly what you'd call a gym rat in terms of his physique, but he showed a lot of quickness and agility to get there, spin, and throw right on the money. So here's Ian Holst. And he skies one to right. Niles goes back, makes the catch. They're going to challenge his arm, and Majerus will get in there. Holst was a long way away and was backtracking, couldn't really get anything on the throw, although he did make a pretty good throw, but it had a lot of air under it. And I tell you, Ian Holst is a little deceptive because he looks like he's taller kid, but he looks thin, but he does generate some power when he wants to turn it loose. So here's Jake Cavallaro, runner in scoring position. Line drive caught by Mulcrone. Good job by Majerus to get back to the bag, and it brings up Wiz. And no slam on Joel, but I don't think I'd be pitching to Wiz right here. Chasing 4. I would make Joel Alejandro get the hit. This could be see if he goes after him, or if he's going to pitch him. And he drives it. LeVar gets beat. 1 run is in. Wiz is going to end up with a home run here. And now it's 12-6. It's kind of a lost thing. A lot of managers don't like to walk guys. But Wiz has been swinging real good. And he drove that ball over LeVar toward right center. And now they've doubled up impact, 12-6 here. You always got to decide who the guys are on the other team that you don't want to beat you. And with 2 outs and a base open, walking Wiz there would have done a lot of things. It would have. And again, he's only that low in the lineup because he got here late. And Burrito, and he bounces one. And Lopez can't dig it out. And now here comes the top of their lineup. Meatball City doing a lot of damage today with 2 outs. And that's the thing sometimes when you play a team with a good lineup and they're turning it over like Meatball City is, and you don't quite have the depth in your lineup to necessarily go toe-to-toe up and down in terms of getting hits, it's real difficult to stay with them if you don't play clean and if you don't try to take some advantage of some situations. So here's Marola with pops on deck.
Come on, Mike.
And Mulchrome makes his second fantastic catch of a line drive hit up the box. So we're going to head to the bottom of the 6th, 12-6. Meatball. We are live from Bulger Park in Melrose Park. Live stream powered by Gold Rush Gaming. If you want to put video gaming in your establishment, go with the gold standard, go with Gold Rush. You can call them at 603-307-0500. And you can also email them at inquiries@goldrushgaming.com, and they can run you through all the options. Please mention that you heard about it on the live stream. And please gamble responsibly. Just a delightful night here in the city of Chicago. Melrose, a western suburb. Maybe 1 or 2 suburbs removed. And there's a fly ball to center, and Sean Quinn handles it. So they're giving Liam a little grief.
I didn't want to see it.
That's going to bring up Devereaux, and I'm going to grab a quick swig of water. So Devereaux grounds out to Doss, and that'll be 2 outs. And it'll bring up Niles. Gall. Looks like it's Goll. Dahl, but Gall. So here's Niles. And that big inning, and there's a line drive caught by Joey. So the bad news if you're an Impact fan is you're down 6. The good news is you'll have the top of your lineup coming up in the bottom of the 7th. So they're going to try to hold it right here. Again, Cinco de Mayo coming up. So we'll get a chance to maybe show you a couple other teams. And we will be back here next Thursday. A couple of good matchups. I believe Flashback and the 45s have games next Thursday. I think Dynasty's playing next Thursday. So we'll take a look at that and figure out what we're going to show you. We got some video coming out, including an interview with Joel Alejandro. we should have a bracket for that. Should have the official bracket up for you guys later tonight for the Cinco de Mayo. And Pop swings and flares that out. That's the same thing he did in an earlier at-bat where he just kind of walked himself out of the at-bat. So he was coming up on it, and that corner outfielders hate that when you hit a ball that far foul. Did apologize after the swing, though. And there he had a little ground ball over to Liam Mulcrone. And Pops is muttering to himself. So here's John Doss Jr. Takes that pitch deep. And there's a little ground ball over to Josh. That time Anthony catches it, and a couple of the impact guys give him a little grief. It's kind of funny because he snatched that ball when he got to him. Usually after you bobble a few, you see first baseman like, you know, really trying to catch it. So here's Joey. Hit a wicked ball to center field that was knuckling earlier in the game. Now he pounds it to Josh, and this time he stood up just a hair too quick.
You're good, Josh.
And Joey does get there, and it brings up Jose, who's had a pretty good ball game. And there's a towering fly ball to LeVar, camped under it and puts it away. So do or die seventh for Impact. They trail by 6. Meatball City chasing out. So Tommy LeVar, who runs the team, is saying, I'm not yelling at anybody. Tommy is I think sometimes because he's so stoic, people get the wrong impression of him. But he's actually a pretty engaging guy when you talk to him. Wanted to keep the Impact team name alive, as he was very close with Stan Patak, who ran the team for many, many years and passed away a few years ago. We actually, in honor of Stan the year he passed, we named our men's major national championship after him. And Pops, so hard overhand cut line drive, Pops boxed it up in the air and then caught it, and he's doing the shaking the hand that it was a knuckleball.
This is the most I could play.
I could do a lot of things on a softball field, but catch line drives wasn't one of them. So here's Cody, and he slashes a hit into right field. And that ball had a little giddy up on him. So I know talking to Tommy, he said that they were missing a couple of guys tonight. And Tommy is a pretty fiery kid, very competitive. Most of the time, the teams will take on the attitude of the manager. And Lopez, a little ground ball. Mike Marola got a tough hop, stayed with it, didn't worry about the runner heading to second because you're chasing outs, and he did recover through a strike to first. And now with 2 outs, JT Rios, the only thing that stands between. And there's a little ground ball picked up by Wiz. He tried to backhand it. I think Wiz might have had a little bit more time than he thought there. Kind of rushed, and now he's grimacing a little bit. So he was off balance and tried to do kind of a crazy backhand flip, the type that you see a second baseman do to a short center. He was a long way from first, so here's the pitcher, Mike Mulcrone. Right now, even though there's 2 outs, if you're Impact, you just need runners and lots of them. And there's a high fly ball. Sean Quinn tracks it, puts it away, so that'll be out number 3. So Meatball City, led by 5, fell behind and then wins going away 12-6 in a nice performance. So on behalf of SSA Broadcast and Gold Rush Gaming, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Signature Meatball City coming up in about 15 minutes or so.